River Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. New England without the snowplow against the Steelers. 23-7 Steelers. Fourth quarter. Kavanaugh back to throw. Pats trying to fight back. Stanley Morgan. Touchdown. That made it 23-14. But only 2 plays later, Terry Bradshaw, back as we know him, may be the most productive quarterback of our time. Back to pass. Looking for the former Belle of Bath. His name, Greg Hawthorne. His number, 27. His catch, executed, and the play good for 46 yards for the TD. And so the Steelers went on to crush the Pats 37-14. Their record 5-3.
Picking and choosing the right investments requires very careful handling. One wrong move can easily damage the best laid plans. At Merrill Lynch, we know that size and strength can be very valuable. But it is our sensitivity to your investment goals and agility in helping you reach them that makes us what we are. Merrill Lynch, a breed apart.
Halftime highlights. Seahawks against the Bengals. Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Pick up with first quarter action. Last play of the quarter. And Jim Zorn of the Hawks rolling out. Looking for Steve Largent, number 80, as always. Ready to release. But getting in the way, the great veteran defender, as he's done so many times before, Ken Riley. Returning at 18 yards to set up the Bengals' first touchdown. That made it 7-0 Cincinnati. In the second quarter, the Seahawks tried to strike back. They made it 7-3, but number 14, Kenny Anderson, Little Augustana College, looking for the number 1 draft choice of a couple of years ago from Kansas, David Verse. The speedster gathers it in, 56 yards, touchdown, 14-3 the Bengals. They needed this victory after the loss last Monday night to San Diego. A satisfied Forrest Gregg left the field. The Jets, the power-laden Jets against the Vikes, a troublesome team in Minnesota. And that was the hero, Bobby Jackson, with 2 touchdowns, the defensive back. In the first quarter, 0-0. Richard Todd, number 14, back to pass. You remember the Olympic gold medalist at Montreal, Lamb Jones? He gathered that in. And that set up, after a 51-yard gain, the Jets 7-0. Now, second quarter, Rick Danmeyer attempts the field goal. Mark Gastineau blocks it. The ball picked up by 28. One-time Oklahoma quarterback, Darrell Ray. Watch him. This is a great athlete, but here he fumbles. The ball goes to Bobby Jackson, and Jackson scoots all the rest of the way, 80 yards for the touchdown, 14-0 Jets. The Jets were on a roll after an unexpected loss to Miami last weekend, and so they made it 21-0. 39 seconds left in the half. The handoff from Kramer to Brown, and Brown, improvisation. The lateral to Kramer, in for the score, 21-7 Jets. It moved up by the fourth quarter to 35-14 Jets. Now, Kramer, you see him there. Bad snap, pass rush, fires. The ball picked off. By whom? By Bobby Jackson, number 40, Jets. All the way down the field, 77 yards. The second TD of the day. The Jets clinched a playoff berth, 42-14, and Joe Klecko may be back next week. The Colts against the Chargers, San Diego, Jack Murphy Stadium. How'd you like to face that man? Look at those figures the last 3 weeks. Incredible. Score tied, 0-0. First quarter. Fouts back to pass. Watch him. Number 80, you guessed it right. The all-world tight end. 30 yards, touchdown, 7-0 Chargers. It was 10-0 in the second quarter. And then Fouts again. What a player. passing to Wes Chandler. What a player he is. May now be the best wide receiver in football, the way he runs after he catches it. 16-0 Chargers. And then Fouts again. And you guessed it again, Kellen Winslow. That made it 23-0 Chargers. Colts were there only for the plane ride. It was 30-13 Chargers, third quarter. And Fouts again. Watch. This time, why not? You've got Wes Chandler to throw to all over again. And another touchdown. The final score, the Chargers 44-26 over the Colts in a laugher. The Chargers in the playoffs.
Today, the landscape of investment opportunities spreads far and wide. But there is one place they grow in all varieties to suit every kind of investor. At Merrill Lynch, we've brought together a profusion of financial services to nurture all kinds of investment needs. And it is the skill and care with which we tend them that makes us what we are. Merrill Lynch, a breed apart.
The Pack against the Falcons, coming off a big victory over San Francisco. And the hero of the day, James Lofton, 146 yards on just 3 receptions. The score tied 0-0 in the first quarter. Dickey handing off to Eddie Lee Ivory, who had a great day. Scored the first touchdown and the second touchdown, too, during the course of the fray, as Green Bay zoomed to first a 7-0 and then a 14-0 lead. Second quarter was 14-7. Lynn Dickey beating a big pass rush, throwing to James Lofton. What speed this man has, Olympic-style speed. That made it 21-7 Green Bay. In the third quarter, the score 21-7. Watch Dickey again. Gets decent protection here, and that's all he needs, because Lofton outspeeds the defenders. There was double coverage. It didn't matter. And so Green Bay went on to win it overwhelmingly, 38-7. Both teams in the playoffs. Then at Busch Stadium, St. Louis, the Giants against the Cardinals. Score tied 0-0. First quarter. Fake field goal play. Roger Whaley, headed for the Hall of Fame, the great defensive back who's announced his retirement, carries the ball in for the score. 7-0 St. Louis. By the fourth quarter, it was 17-7 St. Louis, but the Giants were to strike back. Scott Bruner throwing to John Missler. Touchdown, 17-14 St. Louis. Then the Giants' next possession, 1:20 remaining. Scott Bruner again to his favorite target, John Missler. And suddenly, the Giants were ahead, 21-17. Victory seemed to be in the bag. That Missler catch setting up the Giants' second touchdown. But now, St. Louis striking back. Neil Lomax, as the Giants played a prevent defense which prevented nothing. Throwing downfield, 39, Willard Harrell, all the way down to the 6-yard line. Giants claim fumble. Whistles had been blown, and the officials claimed otherwise. So Lomax had another shot, and he finds number 81, Roy Green, right there. Game-winning touchdown. And so the Cardinals are in the playoffs, 24-21 over the Giants. And the Giants' hopes are now reduced to a virtual whisper.
In 1983, ABC Sports will continue to meet the challenge of excellence with the most outstanding lineup in sports television. The award-winning ABC's Wide World of Sports on Saturday and Sunday. The Professional Bowlers Tour entering its 22nd year. The critically acclaimed ABC Sports Beat with Howard Cosell and more. plus a bold new concept, the premier season of the United States Football League. We'll continue our tradition of excellence because at ABC Sports, being number one is just the beginning.
Final moments of halftime. As you can see, the Buffalo Bills on top of the Miami Dolphins. Critical game for both of them. We'll say more about that a little later. I want to remind you, tomorrow on Good Morning America, 3 former football greats, Tom Harmon, Glenn Davis, Gale Sayers, will be joining David Hartman on Good Morning America. They're part of a week-long series revisiting sports heroes of the past. Good Morning America, tomorrow morning. Once again, halftime score is 10-7 Buffalo over Miami. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Budweiser Light. The light beer brewed with quality ingredients and Beechwood aging for a clean, distinctive taste worthy of the king of beers. And by Datsun, who invites you to test drive the exciting new Nissan Pulsar NX at your Datsun dealers. And by IBM, we're dedicated to the office, where it is now and where it will be. We'll be returning to a jam-packed Orange Bowl in just a moment after this message from our stations.
Wednesday.
I'm not going to write Stephen off.
Blake won't believe the worst.
On his way to Bali, alone?
And it's the chance Alexis needs.
You mean I will comfort you, you will comfort me.
It's time to choose
Can we go someplace a little more private?
on Dynasty.
Hertz announces free gifts that are worth getting, like an autographed O.J. Simpson football with only 1 rental.
Forget that sissy stuff. Rent from Hertz just once and walk away with 6 top-name golf balls.
Well, rent from Hertz just 6 times and get a 12-inch RCA TV.
Now, hold on there, O.J. Let's let the people decide. Rent from Hertz and choose from the kind of quality gifts you'd expect from number one.
I'm going to show you guys how to get a quarterback.
How smart, Coach?
No, here's how to get a quarterback. You go this way, you go that way, to McDonald's.
McDonald's?
Sure, every time you buy a great tasting quarter pounder made with 100% all-American beef, you get one of these tokens worth a quarter for the next time you buy a quarter pounder with or without cheese. Now get out there and get me a quarterback.
Hi, may I help you, please?
Quarter pounder with cheese and a large Coke.
Coach says I should get a quarterback.